My name's Tony, and welcome to the Op at Home. Today we're going to talk about Ratuki, a family card game for 2 to 5 players ages 7 and up. Ratuki plays over a number of quick, short rounds, and the first player to 100 points is the winner. Everyone's going to start by choosing one of the 5 decks of cards that come with the game. Any card decks that aren't used, go ahead and put back in the box. This is a game where you're going to be racing to collect cards, and the first to collect 100 points is going to be the winner. This is a simultaneous play game, so what that means is you're not needing to wait for your turn, and everyone's going to be moving as fast as possible, and the goal is to deplete your cards quickly and collect piles of cards as quickly as possible so that you gain the most points. Each deck is made up of an identical set of cards with 5 different suits of the numbers 1 through 5. We have words, hands, numerals, dice, and hash marks. Each deck also contains 2 wild Ratuki cards. We'll talk about how to use those in just a second. Once you've shuffled your cards, you're going to go ahead and draw 3 cards into your hand. Now, something to keep in mind when playing the game is you're going to hold cards with one hand and play cards with your other hand. You can only play 1 card at a time, and you may not stack multiple cards to play at the same time. Anybody can start a stack on the table. You can have as many stacks going as there are players playing. So if you have 3 players, you can have up to 3 stacks. Every stack has to start with the number 1. It can be any of the 5 suits. So this is an ascending and descending number game. So anyone can start a pile, and a pile has to start with the number 1. After that, cards that can be played are neighboring cards. So on a 1, the only neighboring card is the number 2. After that, the game really explodes into some serious fun. Because on a 2, you could play a 1 or a 3. And then on a 3, you could play a 2 or a 4. So theoretically, a stack could go 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. Or a wild Ratuki card at any point in there. Now, whoever gets to play the 5 on any stack is going to take that pile of cards. You're going to leave them face up because those will be scored points later. Now, while you're playing, you may have a wild Ratuki card in your hand. You may want to choose to use this on a pile that's doing one of those ascending and descending stacks because the more cards that are there, the more points you're going to get. At the end of the round, you're going to count up your cards that you've collected, and each card is going to be worth 1 point. So use those wild Ratuki cards wisely. Now, remember I said you can use a 5 to collect a pile. Now the 5 only can be played on the number 4, so you have to be mindful as to when you play those and when you keep them in your hands. There may be a time where you're holding cards in your hand that you don't or can't play yet because the pacing is such that the cards that you need and or want to play don't have neighboring cards out there. So at that point you can choose to discard a card into your own discard or junk pile and then replenish a card into your hand. And you can discard as many of those cards as you want and replenish up to 3 as well. Now once your main draw pile is depleted, your discard pile now becomes your new draw pile. Once a single player is out of all of their draw cards, they say, "I'm out," and the play stops. Then what's going to happen is people are going to count cards. You're going to count up all the cards you've collected. You're going to count 1 point for every card you've collected. Any cards that you have left either in hand or in your draw pile, you're going to count those up too because you're going to subtract that number from the number of cards you collected. So you could have collected 20 cards and somebody yelled stop and you still had 5 or 6 cards left, so 20 minus 5 is 15, so you're going to get 15 points for that round. You're going to keep playing like this until somebody has reached 100 points. At that point, that player is the winner. Now, one thing to keep in mind that I mentioned before is you can only play cards from your hand using one hand. What's going to tend to happen though is someone's going to get so excited they're going to do this double hand business. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to let it slide that first time. But be sure that everyone is playing fairly and that you're not doing this double hand or stacking multiple cards at once because this is a race and everyone's wanting to be the first to get rid of their cards, but everyone should be playing fairly. After the round has stopped and you're counting up the cards that you've collected, you can count them as a single pile or you can choose to sort them as you're counting them so that once the round is over, you can give each player their cards back. Record the score that you got for that round, and if by chance you went into the negative points because you had far more cards still to play than you actually collected, don't worry, this is a friendly game. Just give yourself a 0 for that round. Don't bother going into negative points. Nobody likes going into negative points. The next round will start once everyone gets their cards back, shuffle up, and then draw 3 cards again. Each round starts with ready, set, Ratuki, and anybody who has a 1 can go ahead and play it to get those piles started. Remember, you can have as many piles going as there are players playing, and anyone can play on any stack in the center of the table. So thanks for tuning in and learning about Ratuki. Feel free to check us out on all the social channels. Look for The Op, and check us out online at theop.games. Cheers. Thanks for joining us at The Op at Home.